In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a mood board using AI that will represent your business well. If we haven't met, my name is Becca and I am a website designer, and I love helping creative entrepreneurs get their website up and running quickly so that it can start getting them clients and gaining traction for SEO. So let's flip the camera around. How to create a Pinterest board and use different tools to figure out your color palette. And this is not using AI, but it's a really good in addition to what I'm going to train you. So you can get that at RebeccaReedCreative.com/moodboard. So let's go to ChatGPT, and I just created a prompt that was as descriptive as I could make it. And it says, this is what I am. Design a mood board for a photography business. And then I'm explaining what I want that mood board to be. So Tuscany, classy vibes, that sort of thing. So put your business in there, and let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so here's our color palette. Love it. And then it's giving us all these different elements. So now what I would do is I would go into my free Canva mood board templates that you can get back at this link. And so I'll go into a template and find one that I feel will work with this brand. Since it's a photographer and it's kind of boho, maybe we'll go with something like this. So let's come back here. And color palette: warm earthy tones, terracotta, ochre, sand, and dusty rose. Blush, pink, lavender, and sage green. Deep burgundy, emerald green, navy blue. Okay. So I'm going to do the warm earthy tones because warm was something that I wanted. And so what you could do is you could just literally type in dusty rose hex code, and it'll come up with some hex codes for you. So we'll take that one and we'll see what's that one. Thank you, Google. And I'm going to duplicate this page actually. I also, in my Canva mood board templates, have a bunch of color palettes that you can look at. So I might scroll down and just kind of look at the color palettes that I already have and just see if any of these fit. This one might actually fit, but we're going to continue moving forward with the AI situation. So let's go back up to this. So that was that dusty rose, and I don't know if I really feel like, let's try a different dusty rose color. That feels right. Okay, so we'll grab that hex code, and then it's very similar, but put that in, and then make sure to change it down here so that you know that code. And then let's look at what the other one it said. When you're creating your color palette, I would just say, there's a lot of different colors that you could use. But if you're trying to just keep your brand simple, I would say have like one really good pop color and then maybe a couple like lower level colors. And in Squarespace, there are color palettes that you can use as well. So that might be worth your time. But you want to keep it easy with your website, and maybe bring in, using really good brand photos or whatever. That is not the right code. You can bring in the colors in other ways on your website. Okay, so since I'm using one of my photographer friends as inspiration for this, I took a couple of her pictures with her permission, but I would just say if you're looking for photos to add in here, you can use the photos that Canva has, but Unsplash is another place you could go. Pixabay is another place, or Pexels, Pexels, are all great options to look for just some brand photos. But if you have your own brand photos, those are definitely great to add in as well. So we'll replace those. I might even type in, go to elements in Canva and then images and type in like Tuscany. She had mentioned that. And add those photos there. The next step after, once I've kind of filled in this photo section, is to figure out the fonts. So if we go back to ChatGPT, they Down here have typography, and let's just quickly scroll through this. So photographies, that might give you some inspiration if you're looking for photos. Textures and patterns, vintage lace textures for a romantic touch. I love that, especially because she wanted some kind of high-end vibes as well. Linen and woven, definitely boho. So let's look at and see if Canva has any vintage lace that's free that I can use. Quickly put a Tuscany photo in here. Then let's go vintage lace. Of course it's not free, but you know, you could just add something like that on your mood board just to give it kind of more texture and stuff. Maybe we'll add that as a background. Oop. Okay. Alright, so for fonts, elegant serif fonts for a classy touch, handwritten scripts for a personal romantic feel, simple clean sans serif fonts for modern areas. So that, I mean, that's pretty generalized, but I think that's, anytime using a serif and a sans serif is a good choice. So even the ones I have here would probably work. Let's make them more white so that you can see them. So this is actually Cardo. Jonathan. And I just would say that if you are going to use a, you know, font that's really scripty, be really sparing where you're using it. So words that are not super important. For example, if you have like hello there, that would be a great place to have the script font, but not in you know, we are a business that serves XYZ client. That's going to be really important, so I wouldn't put that there. So you can mess around with this. Maybe we'll make this a little bit transparency, a little bit more. A bit darker. But so that is AI. Let's see if AI had anything else to say. Decorative accents. You could even try to add in some of those. And it even has like brand identity stuff. So it did pretty well. I honestly prefer my method, which I teach you in this video. But I think for being AI, it did a decent job. I'll give it a solid 6.5 out of 10. I'll link everything below that I mentioned.